anyone ever tell you that this country isn't great, that somehow we need to make it great again, because this right now is the greatest country on earth.
This is your president. In the past 10 years, I have fooled all of you into believing the socialist ideology of everyone is equal. How? By making everyone believe the lie and having destroyed our nation's sovereignty. Through communism, we will all be a unified global government of acceptance by making everyone have the same thing. You won't be an American, you won't be a citizen anymore. You will be the same as your dog, your neighbors in Mexico. If all have nothing, then all will be equal. That is the purpose of socialism. You are nothing unless the government tells you who or what you are. Don't pretend you don't know what I've been doing. I brainwashed you through high-definition television. You are truly the walking dead. If I told you to give up your freedoms, you would. But it's already happened, so I don't need to keep convincing you. You all are vegetables now anyway. Oh, by the way, if you can't see that I'm the Antichrist, then there's no reason anymore to tell you what must be done next, because you'll be hunted down with the Christians and exterminated for not believing me, not accepting who I am. I'm your Messiah, your Imam Mahdi. April 23rd, 2018, I told the world, but it wasn't time yet to bring out who I am. So the conspiracy must continue against Trump until that is accomplished. The rapture must happen first. Remember always that I made narcotics legal. I made every kind accessible. I made this addicted nation a reality through suicide, overdoses, you name it. I did that. Ever wonder how I control everything you see and hear? I own the media. I have since I took over in 2009. I laugh when I see Republicans standing next to each other without a word. They can't. I control what they see, what they hear. Want truth, facts? Forget it. I am your whole world now. If life means anything today, it won't under the global system I've initiated since I became president in 2009. My legions accept whatever I tell them to do. You will too, or you'll be hunted down with the rest and exterminated. It's as simple as that. Accept and obey, or resist and die. I am your hope for tomorrow. I am your president. There is only one outcome: world domination. Either you'll accept me or be taken out. It's time to take a stand for one or the other. Me or freedom and liberty. Remember Adolf Hitler, freedom is a lie. Enslavement is acceptance.
أهلا، أنا عمران دقنيش. لقد رأيتني في سيارة الإسعاف في حلب. عندما أطاحت الطيارات الجوية بمنزل عائلتي. أنا بأمان الآن. أردت أن أجيب على تساؤل شخص ما حول مشاعري عن نفسي وعن عائلتي عن طريق قول أنا بخير وأنا أحبك أيضا يا ديفيد.
We should never allow the government to decide what is acceptable speech and what is unacceptable speech. We should penalize behaviors, not opinions, and not speech. If you start trying to regulate speech, start trying to regulate thoughts, start trying to regulate beliefs rather than behaviors, there's no way that you're not going to abridge the constitutional rights of millions of Americans.
لقد رأيتني في سيارة الإسعاف في حلب. عندما أطاحت الطيارات الجوية بمنزل عائلتي. أنا بأمان الآن. أردت أن أجيب على تساؤل شخص ما حول مشاعري عن نفسي وعن عائلتي عن طريق قول أنا بخير وأنا أحبك أيضا يا ديفيد.
Oh, hi-ho! Kermit the Frog here, with a very special message for my good friend, Omran Daknish. That's right. Hey, buddy, how are you doing? I love sending special messages like this to people all over the world, but especially to great little boys like you, Omran, all the way over in Aleppo. I'm thinking about you today and every day. You are a special little boy. And of course, I'd love to give a big shout out to your sisters Roa and Taki and your brother Abdullah. Omran, always be safe in Aleppo with your family. We love you. The whole world loves you. Yay! Omran, keep being the sweet little boy you are. You'll always be close in my heart. From your friend, Kermit the Frog. I love you, Omran.
أهلا، أنا عمران دقنيش. لقد رأيتني في سيارة الإسعاف في حلب. عندما أطاحت الطيارات الجوية بمنزل عائلتي. أنا بأمان الآن. أردت أن أجيب على تساؤل شخص ما حول مشاعري عن نفسي وعن عائلتي عن طريق قول أنا بخير وأنا أحبك أيضا يا ديفيد.
I'd like to talk with you about a special little boy who lives in Aleppo, Syria. His name is Amran Daknish. He and his family were injured during airstrikes in Aleppo during the summer of 2016. Everyone in the world saw him, and even the presidential candidates discussed him.
The heartbreaking video of a 5-year-old Syrian boy named Amran sitting in an ambulance after being pulled from the rubble after an airstrike in Aleppo focused the world's attention on the horrors of the war in Syria, with 136 million views on Facebook alone. But there are much worse images coming out of Aleppo every day now, where in the past few weeks alone, 400 people have been killed, at least 100 of them children. Just days ago, the State Department called for a war crimes investigation of the Syrian regime of Bashar al-Assad and its ally, Russia, for their bombardment of Aleppo.
That picture of that little 4-year-old boy in Aleppo with the blood coming down his face while he sat in an ambulance is haunting.
I am asking you to remember him and his family. They should never have had to endure this. No one should. He is safe today with his family, but millions of other children are still suffering in the world today. Remember Amran. Remember his people. Remember Aleppo.
مرحبا، اسمي عمران دقنيش. كان عمري 3 سنين ونص لما ضربوا الغارات الجوية الروسية على حلب. أكيد شفتوني هديك الليلة في سيارة الإسعاف يوم 17/8/2016، واليوم أنا أفضل بكتير. أنا صورت هذا الفيديو عشان أسأل عيلتي شو اسم أمي، إذا ممكن أي شخص يساعدني أنا بقدره كتير. من فضلكم أروني شخص أحضنه زي أبويا محمد الخير، أبو علي، أخواتي رؤى وتقي وعبد الله. أنا لسه ما بعرف اسم أمي، رجاء ساعدوني في معرفته. أحب كل من يهتم بي وما زال يريد أن يعرف كيف هي عائلتي في حلب. لن أنسى أبدا لطفكم. مع السلامة.
Some depositions made by the military stated that the occupants used telepathy to communicate with them, because they saw no movement in their mouths. One document received in the allotment from the National Archives stated the following: Corporal John Holden made the following statement to Base Commander Anderson: "Sir, I feel I should tell you that the creature I saw communicated to me when I first came up to the object." The commander asked what did the creature say. The corporal's answer was, "I was told that they came in peace and did not mean any harm to anyone. It also told me that they had come with another ship that had also crashed some miles from there, but they had no communication with it since the crash." This would imply that there was no one who survived the crash itself in Roswell. Some additional statements that were made by this corporal were, "I felt kind of uneasy around them, sir." The commander said, "Keep your mouth shut about this or any other feelings you have about them, Corporal." He answered an authoritative "Yes, sir." In this video you will see some sketches that were made by those military officers who illustrated what they saw, plus other illustrations were recreated by military artists who were commissioned to reconstruct what was described to them from the military officers who witnessed the scenes. These illustrations were found in the recent release that had been classified under the Oath of Secrecy Act 1939. But, under the rules of the Freedom of Information Act, these materials that were lost for almost 70 years have been found and released to the media and general public by the United States National Archives for the purposes of total disclosure of the known and unknown facts surrounding these objects, and the occupants who were found with them. Because of threats made against them, the officers who were witnesses to these events have been silent all these years, but, now some who are still alive are coming forward to tell what they saw. It is not clear who might be trying to gain from this for profit and those who are sincere in their wishes to tell what they actually saw. Of all the material found, the most incredible visual record is what we are about to show. It shows the actual material that was recovered from the McBrazel Ranch that was blown to the Wright-Patterson Air Force Base for study in 1947. This footage has never been shown before on television or the internet. What you are about to see will inspire you to think about the events again that occurred in 1947 in Roswell and Corona, New Mexico. If you never believed it before, you will now.
In one instance, too long proximity to a UFO apparently burned out an auto's electrical wiring, melted the pitch on the battery, and produced other heating effects.
Lights in my car started to go dim, and the motor started to sputter, cough, die. And happened to look at the ammeter, and I saw that it was pinned against the discharge. I thought there was a short in the electrical system. So I shut the car off and got out and opened the hood. There didn't appear to be anything wrong with it. I spotted this thing, saw this thing hovering approximately above the highway, a little bit off to the side, about 100 yards or 200 yards away. My hair got warm to the touch. It was hot to the touch, not really hot, but it was unpleasant, an unpleasant sensation. I have a copper ring on my left ring finger. It got rather warm, and it was unpleasant to feel. I finally took it off. I have a sterling ring on my right little finger, and it wasn't as hot as the copper ring, but it was still getting unpleasant, so I decided to take that off too. And I noticed my watch getting a little. I have a metal watch band here, and it got warm. It seemed like all the metal around was getting hot. Had a metal button and metal fly in my pants, and they got hot.
With the ever-increasing hatred by Black Lives Matter against the white race, Omran and Carey Films and Records Company has released the number-hit single, No Tolerance, No Peace by the rock sensation group, The Apes of Planet Earth. The record has gone gold on the Billboard and many record distributors want to pick up their contract, but Omran and Carey Films and Records won't budge. Get your album by Digital Music today on Amazon or go to digimusic.com now.
عمران دقنيش.
قديش عمرك؟
4 سنين.
later, the horror lives in these images of a packed supermarket splashed with gas. 5 people, mothers, daughters, as young as 4, all burned alive in an act of terrorism long before September 11th made that threat a part of everyday life in America. Doctors said Billy Ferry was a deranged drifter who thought he was attacking a Russian military base.
They castrated my wife and my 4-year-old son. Hillsborough County with radioactive asbestos.
It was public defender Craig Aldridge's first death penalty case. Looking back, he says, Ferry should have never been on the street.
Everybody knew that there was a mentally deranged person on the streets of Tampa. And the bottom line is, this is the family begged to do something to help him. And they never helped.
Ferry even spray painted a warning in the neighborhood only days before the fire broke. I interviewed Ferry's sister Rhonda that night.
And all we ever got out of him was, how do you know he's crazy? Who are you to say that he's crazy?
After a year in a state hospital, Ferry was brought back. Funerals may have been over, but the morgue had turned to anger as the trial began. I swear, you could feel the hostility. It really could. You could feel it also with the families of the victims. Carter lost their 20-year-old daughter, Leanne. She dreamed of being a school teacher, having a family of her own. Her father and brother live now near Atlanta. They say they want Leanne's memory kept alive.
I know a lot of the families didn't want to talk about it this year, but